Hi, my name is Cara Lopez, and I'll be giving a speech out about animal shelters and their overpopulation. According to the ASPCA, approximately 6.5 million animals enter U.S. Animal shelters every year. Through further research, I found out that only half of those 6.5 million animals actually get adopted. There's a lot of misconceptions about animal shelters that they have them in good conditions and they're taking care of very well. Well, the harsh reality is that there are overcapacity, and most of the time they're abandoned and or possibly even killed. I came to realize this when one time I was walking in the park with my friend and we heard a sudden meow, and then we thought it was a kid, but in reality it wasn't. It was a poor innocent cat who had just barely opened his eyes. And we decided to take it to the animal shelter, and that's when I realized that the capacity of animal shelters is crazy, because I couldn't leave an innocent cat in a cage with 5 other cats. Like, it was not gonna survive. And ever since then, I've been volunteering and I've been realizing the true realities of animal shelters. It's important to understand that overpopulation in animal shelters is a real thing, and millions of animals enter every day, either because they're left at parks by their owners or they're mating around and creating more strays. According to Petpedia, 30% of animals in shelters were left there by their owners. And that strong fact is just crazy to understand, that you have a pet and you're not willing to go through it and actually give it a home and love it. The effect of overpopulation is that animals are getting killed in the animal shelter because they need space for new incoming animals. This short-term solution for animals that are being found is not the solution. Innocent animals are being killed every day so they can make space for new incoming ones. What is overpopulation, you may think? Overpopulation is the fact of having the amount of something to an extent. And this is what is happening to animal shelters. The population of them in animal shelters is increasing, and it's coming to the fact where poor innocent animals are having to be crowded in one cage, small or big. And animal shelters have to make more room for them, and it's hard for them to make more room, so they decide to go to the solution of euthanizing them. The intake on animals is high. Random cats in streets, pet loss and never retrieved by owners makes it harder for the amount of strays in the street to decrease. According to ASPCA, approximately 3.3 million are dogs and 3.2 million are cats that enter animal shelters every year. Both cats and dogs are abandoned. So it could go either way. It doesn't matter the type of dog or the type of cat. Most of them are being abandoned and left out in the streets. And then they are going to the fact that it's overpopulated, and so they're using the method of euthanizing. And you may ask, what is euthanizing? Euthanizing is the fact that they inject a needle in the innocent animal and they give it a peaceful death, which in reality it's harsh, because an innocent animal that's being fragile, that could possibly get a home and be able to actually have a good life, is being killed because they're trying to make more space for new animals that are being found in the streets. In the article, Petpedia states that 10% of the large homeless animals population is ever admitted to animal shelters. So not a lot of animals are being rescued, and that fact just goes to show that there is a lot of animals in the streets and in parks and roaming around everywhere. And it comes to realize that when this high number is because pet owners don't want to take the responsibility of taking their pets and giving them a home. And then animal shelters are being overpopulated, and sometimes you could see a dog or a cat in the streets being killed and just by cars. The PETA article also says millions of animals who enter shelters each year, about half must be euthanized or humane reasons, or no suitable home exists for them. So animal shelters are going into euthanizing as a solution, and sometimes the harsh reality is that sometimes animal shelters can't afford the injections, so they go with gas chambers, and they use even gunshots to kill the animals. And it's really hard to come to accept the fact that to this day in this modern society, animal shelters are still going to that extent of using gas chambers and gunshots. Animal shelters population is rising, and not enough there is not enough room. I will forever remember the day that I went to the animal shelter and saw those poor innocent cats being crowded and dogs being crowded because they're trying to take them in. But we need to remember that we need to save animals, and overpopulation is a real thing in our society.